Now, new figures just published shows that €1 in every 7 spent here is now on a Visa card. Spending on Visa is up 17% since 2011, and spending topped €15.5 billion. Visa also released its annual results this morning, and I'm joined in studio now by Mark O'Brien, Managing Director of UK and Ireland for Visa. Mark, very good morning to you. And one of the figures in your annual results that just stood out for me is there's nearly 5 million cards in use in Ireland. It's only 4 million people in the country.
Good morning, Ian. Yes, 5 billion would be very difficult, but nearly 5 million cards. And whilst trading conditions are very difficult out there for many companies, HMV you mentioned this morning, Visa Europe's had a really strong year. We grew 8% in Europe last year overall, but we grew 17% here in Ireland. Much of that growth and those nearly 5 million cards that you mentioned are now mainly debit cards. Most of the spend is on debit cards. And whilst historically we've had a strong footprint of credit cards here in Ireland, Ipso publicly stated that it would be difficult and a big investment for Ireland to come into the future of payments, and that's why many of the banks here have now partnered with Visa for debit as well as credit and prepaid.
Yeah, because the use of cash and cheques in Ireland is still incredibly high, even when you see the advances in technology, contactless payment and more security.
That's right. Here in Ireland, people use cash and take more cash out of ATMs every month than they do in a whole year in Denmark. It's very much a cash-connected economy. But, I mean, in recognition of the National Payments Plan, there's a huge drive and demand for electronic payments as we all move to smart devices and online spending. More than 20% of spending is now e-commerce.
Looking at some of your numbers there, the amount of, I suppose, transaction volumes and value up as well year on year, which might be a little bit surprising given what's going on in the retail sector.
Yes, I mean, our numbers are a little bit unnatural in the sense that we are winning share from what was a Laser card before, and we're replacing Laser card with Visa spend. Laser will see a decline that's reciprocal of our growth. But overall, we are seeing growth on our cards as many people choose to shop online in particular, and it's our online spending that's up strongly, whilst high street spending is still struggling to achieve growth year on year.
Are people concerned about the use of electronic means of paying? I mean, if you have cash, or somebody can steal your wallet, but somebody can't steal, I suppose, your PIN number.
Well, that's right. I mean, if somebody steals your handbag or your purse, you're pretty sure that the cash in it has gone forever. But the banking code here, it ensures that there's protection for consumers for any fraudulent spend that might occur on your cards.
Looking at something which has been rolled out in the last couple of weeks, and I've seen it myself, contactless payment. I mean, tell us what that's about.
Well, very much Visa has been used traditionally for the high street spending, a large basket, but very, very often people have used cash for low value purchases, and for us they're below £10. What we've done is we've created a new tap and go service, so you can actually just tap your card, and Bank of Ireland and Allied Irish Bank are issuing these cards now to all of their customers. You can use them in McDonald's, Marks and Spencer's, Centra Spa, and a number of other stores, Arnott's and others. And it's rolling out to other retailers. And what it does, it speeds up the transaction. You don't have to stop to put in your PIN number. You can simply wave your card over the terminal and go.
The limit is quite small, though. It's €15.
It's deliberately small for now, and that's because we'd like to target low-value transactions. As I said, we'd like to target those small cash transactions, and the limit for this contactless payment technology is €15.
Is that because you fear if somebody did manage to get hold of somebody's card, that perhaps without having the PIN number they could run up quite a hefty bill?
What we'd like to do is make sure that all of the security is in place to protect the consumer for the goods and services. The chip on the card is intelligently working out whether a PIN should be used. And so for several transactions you can tap and go, but then a PIN will be forced.
Are cards safe these days? We see all sorts of scams going on out there.
Well, fraud, unfortunately, is part of the business of finance, and there will always be wallets and purses that are stolen, and there'll always be hackers online trying to get your card details. In terms of the PIN, that offers consumers protection against somebody stealing your card. If they don't know your PIN, they won't be able to use it. And for these contactless transactions, your bank will guarantee it. Online, look for Verified by Visa. That adds another layer of security to protect you against any fraud online.
Visa announcing its annual results this morning. How is Visa Europe doing?
Well, Visa Europe's doing extremely well across Europe, and we recognise whilst many companies are struggling, we're going from strength to strength, and we went from €1 in every €8 spent the year before, 2011, to €1 in 7 of consumer spending in 2012. Big milestone for us, and we're continuing to grow market share in many countries, just as we are in Ireland.
I suppose it's an indication of how much people are spending. Do you see any signs at all that people out there are perhaps cutting back a little bit?
For sure. What we're seeing, particularly in the shopping basket, people are trading down. The average ticket size is going down. And so we're seeing much smaller average purchases going down from some €48 to some €46. That's a sign of the times that people are trading down, buying cheaper items in their basket.
And what about here in Ireland?
Exactly the same story. Exactly the same story, Ian.
Okay, Mark O'Brien, Managing Director of Visa UK and Ireland, thank you very much for coming in.